Hi everyone, greetings from Melbourne, Australia. My name is Rachel Barbounis. I'm an independent consultant and a National Vice President with Arbonne. I'm really honoured to be providing one of the 60 in 60 trainings for the Australian bushfire relief. I'm a proud Aussie. We've had many people in our teams impacted by the fires, people that have been evacuated, people that have lost their homes, people that have been trapped in fire zones. It has affected the whole country. I'm lucky that I live in Melbourne, just 7 kilometres out of Melbourne CBD, and we've still been heavily affected by smoke and ash. So we really appreciate the whole Arbonne community coming together. It makes me want to cry, to support the Aussies. What I call Arbonne is a soul tribe. And, you know, guys, when the chips are down, no one will have your back like the soul tribe that is Arbonne. So thank you for being a part of this. So today I'm going to do a training about something that's held me back in my business, and I hope that it can help some of you move forward in yours. It's a training that I shared at our Australian Arbonne conference on the Gold Coast in Australia this year, and it is called Objection, Handling Your Own Excuses. So let's get into the training. So guys, let me start by asking you this question. If our business is so simple, why do we love to complicate it? If we have such easy to follow systems and each teams have different systems for success, why does the business sometimes just feel so hard? Jim Rohn says that the same wind blows on all of us. So why is it then that some people, and have you ever thought about this, some people seem to have all of the success and yet other people struggle to even gain momentum in their business? So have you wondered why this is the case? Do you think that the uber successful people that build teams fast or the top income earners, do they perhaps have a different skill set, knowledge base or personality type than you? Do you think skills, knowledge and personality type is what determines people's success in Arbonne? You know what I've learned after 6 years in the business? Wherever you are in the business, there is always someone further ahead in the compensation plan that has far less skills and knowledge than you. Because grit and consistency, guys, they will always trump skill sets, okay? Authenticity, that's what's important. That's what always will get you further than any personality type. And you know what? You don't need any more knowledge than you already have to promote to your next level, because you honestly learn everything you need to know along the way, but you just have to get started. Decide that D word in order to learn. Your skills, your knowledge, your personality type, it's not what will determine your success in Arbonne, guys. So is it perhaps what happened to you? Could some people just be incapable of success perhaps because of something horrible that happened in the past that still holds them back? You know what I've learned after coaching hundreds and hundreds of people is that we've all got a story. We've all got some sort of a trauma that's relative to us that still affects us as adults. Some of us are living our biggest trauma right now. So whether that's in Australia, you know, being impacted in a really big way by the bushfires, whether that's losing a loved one, whether that's nursing a loved one through an illness, losing our job, losing our homes. You know what, I can guarantee you guys that anything that has happened to you in this business, it has been experienced by one of the hundreds of NVPs globally who have built their business anyway. There was 420 NVPs in Maui in January, and I can guarantee that they have all got a story, a trauma, something that's happened to them that they've overcome, and they've built their business anyway. What I've learned is that what happens to you, it actually has no relevance to your business. It's how you react. It's how you respond. It's how you show up and come back. That's what defines you in this business, guys. So let me ask you this. Is your upline responsible for your success? Have you ever fantasized about having a different sponsor or an NVP. You know, my sister was my sponsor, and when I was a struggling consultant, I used to daydream about having a different sponsor all the time. How horrible is that? You know, and we do hear stories of people reaching out to other NVPs saying, could I switch teams somehow, which is very non-ethical. And we certainly don't condone that, but I hear stories about that all the time. Guys, here's the thing. Everyone in Arbonne will sponsor or has sponsored already someone that will never promote, that will never do anything meaningful with this business, who will quit, who might lose a title or just do nothing at all. Okay. And the interesting thing is that most of those people will blame their sponsor or their upline or their NVP. But remember, guys, you don't need an upline. Your job is to become someone that you would want to follow, and then you build your downline. Okay. And I actually heard the amazing ENVP Stuart Armfield say in a training once that if you can't relate to your MVP or any other MVP for that matter, then you need to become an MVP so you can be that person for other people that are like you. But just don't expect other people to change or be different to make you happier, or so you can get different results. So that goes for your upline. But also outside of Arbonne, it goes for your spouse, your team inside of Arbonne, but also your friends. Guys, you are the one that needs to change in order to find happiness or experience success or whatever it is for you. Because happiness and success, guys, they're both inside jobs. So having said that, saying that you need to build a downline, is your downline responsible for your success or failure? And a really good question to ask is, if my entire team did exactly the same amount of personal activity and sponsoring that I did last month, would my stats look any different this month? And if the answer is yes, absolutely, I'm the hardest working consultant on my team, you know what? Awesome. You're on the right track. Just know that if you do the work, the QV and the success will always show up. And there's so many great examples of this in Arbonne. Sarah Dunning pops to mind. Do the work, guys, and the QV will show up. But if you're focused on what one person or one leg in your business, if you're focused on what they're not doing, it just means that you are not wide enough yet. Okay, so keep going. It's that famous Jim Rohn quote, help enough people get what they want, and you will get what you want, but you've got to keep going. And guys, if your team aren't doing much, people ask all the time, what can I do to motivate my team? The best way to motivate your team is to be the best independent consultant on your team. Okay, you can lead 1,000 ICs to nation, guys, but you can't carry 3 people on your back. You're just not going to get anywhere in Arbonne. You know what? You have to lead the way. Your team will do what you do, not what you say. Who do you work with? Work with the working. Work with the people that are doing the do, but just love on the rest. You know what? Until you find your aces, love everybody, because we are building a network of consumers. But as the incredible ENVP Cecilia Stoll says, just don't go to the beach until you're 6 nations wide. Vision board goals. You know, have you ever thought, you know, talking about different reasons that we think people succeed, have you ever thought someone only promoted because they got lucky, they sponsored that one person on social media or on Instagram that built fast, or they had 4 yeses earlier on, or they got their aces early? You know what I've realized about luck, guys? It's that the harder you work, the luckier you seem to get. People can promote by accident. I certainly did. I kind of had no idea how I got to district. I like to joke that I got there by accident. But you know what? You don't hang on to a title by accident. Sometimes for some people, their title will come first and then they'll grow into the leadership. And for others, guys, and this was certainly the case in my business, my leadership came way before my title caught up with me. I was overtaken by multiple areas in my team before I was one myself. I had 2 regional vice presidents in my team before I was one myself, but I kept doing the work, and my title eventually caught up with me. But guys, success is not random, and wherever you are in your business right now, even though it might not feel like it, you are actually in complete control of your destiny. Okay, and I hope you're starting to get the picture. The things that we think hold us back in this business, they're not really holding us back at all. There's only two reasons why people don't get to where they want to be in Arbonne. This is what I've learned over the last 6 years. They either quit, or I'll be really frank with you, they believe the BS stories they tell themselves about why they can't move forward. So, you can be a master presenter. You can be someone that shows up to everything. You can be an award-winning sponsor. You can even be your team's best objection handler. Everyone, there's one of all of those things in every team. But what I've learned is that you'll only achieve your biggest dreams in Arbonne, and in life for that matter, if you learn how to objection handle your own excuses. Okay, because the only person who can truly sabotage or hold you back in this business is actually you. And excuses are simply lies that we tell ourselves to kind of make it not our fault. Excuses get you nowhere. At GTC and the AACs and the Impact Tours, guys, there's no awards at any of those events for having the best excuse. And if you feel stuck in your business, you need to know that you don't have to be stuck, because stuck is a decision. Being stuck, it's another one of those BS stories we tell ourselves. I rang my sister, my poor sister. She did an amazing job of helping me get to NVP, but I rang her once and I told her, you know what, I am stuck. I'm doing all the right things, but the QB's not coming in. And you know what, I'm pretty sure she had just listened to an incredible Debbie Mill audio, because she said to me, unless your feet are stuck in concrete, you are not stuck. And at the time, I didn't want to hear that, because I wanted her to give me the magic answer. But you know what? She was absolutely right, guys. Nothing in this business is unfigureoutable. PD and income producing activity, those two things, they really do cure everything. It's not what you want to hear when you feel stuck, but PD and income producing activity really do cure everything. PD is really important because, you know what, guys, your business will only grow as much as you do. And if you don't think you need the PD, you need it more than anybody, okay? And secondly, you just can't overcome a problem or a level of stuckness, if you like, with the same mindset that created it, okay? You have to become more in order to give more. And if you can, this was me, if you can see yourself as an MVP, but you just can't move past where you are, it just means that there's something you don't know yet. And you can affirm, you can decide, you can declare to 1,000 different people 1,000 different ways, but you're never going to outperform your subconscious programming. Okay, the only way to reprogram yourself is through personal development. So building my business, I will always do the amount of activity that I need to reach my next goal, but I'll always also work on myself harder than I work on my business, because you need to be the change that you want to see. I think that was a Gandhi quote, be the change that you want to see in the world. It's exactly the same in your business. Be the change you want to see in your business, guys. Because if you don't look within, you will go without. It's as simple as that. Now, I feel I'm quite highly qualified to train on the topic of excuses, because honestly, guys, I used every single one of them myself in the first 2 years that I felt like I struggled in my business. If there was an award at AAC or GTC, I feel like I would have been the number one, recipient of that award. I felt like I failed forward those first 2 years in Arbonne. But what I learned during that period is that failing to reach your goal, it really is the blessing that they say it is, even though you don't like hearing it, but it's true. And it is actually what helps you achieve your destiny. Okay? If things haven't worked out as you planned, it doesn't mean that they didn't actually work out. And it doesn't mean that it's not actually working out for you right now. Because my favorite Steve Jobs quote is, you can't connect the dots looking forward, guys. But trust it will make perfect sense when you become an MVP and you look back on your journey. Everything will make sense and you'll be grateful for every little part of it. So don't ask when things pop up, why me? This isn't fair. Why is this happening to me? Instead, ask the question, what do I need to learn here? Or how can I make this work for me? Okay. What I've learned is Arbonne is a classroom for the soul. Okay. Arbonne's going to shine a spotlight on whatever it is in your life that you need to work on and learn. And it's not always going to feel comfortable or look pretty, but everything, guys, does happen for a reason. So you can learn the lesson and move forward when something pops up. Or you know what I've realized? The universe and Arbonne, they kind of gang up on you and they keep hitting you over the head with that lesson until you sit up and take notice. You have to know this, that life is always happening for you. It's not happening to you. And when you grasp this, you will realize that the excuses that you've had in the business, they're not holding you back at all. And those obstacles of yours, they're not actually in your way. Okay. And as you start to move you towards your goals, you need to know this. The universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in, they will give you a gift in the form of contrast to help you get super clear on what it is that you actually want. So when things pop up that you might have previously seen as an obstacle or a valid excuse, thank you, universe, for moving you towards your goal by showing you exactly what you do, what you don't want. Use that experience, guys, to get crystal clear on what you truly do want. And then move forward and know that your goal literally is right around the corner. The alternative to this is to stay there where you are, where that obstacle is, staring at it, focusing on it. Look at what is, and you know what? The universe is going to gift wrap more of that for you, and you are not going to go anywhere, because we live in a universe of attraction. Okay, like attracts like. So if you get excited and you stay excited about where you're going, regardless of where you are now, back that up with activity and you will get there. Okay, expect success. Get frustrated, get all depressed and upset about where you are and how you feel stuck there. And you know what? That's exactly where you're going to stay. Only ever let the words of what you do want pass your lips. This is so important. So don't say things like, you know what, I'm just not a very confident person. I'm going to struggle to build this business, or I don't have what it takes. Instead, say things like, I'm working on my confidence every day with this business. Don't ever say Arbonne is hard. I used to say that, so I speak from experience. If someone asks you how your business is going, and the truth is it's not really going anywhere, we've all been there, tell them Arbonne's amazing. Say something like, you know what, I love the products, I love the people, I'm so excited about where Arbonne's taking me. Here's the thing, your unsupportive spouse, your friends, your judgy prospects, those got your merc yet people, they have no power over what you're creating. So don't spend one more second giving them credit for you staying where you are. You can create anything. But if you start to listen to them and you focus on their negativity, that's what you're going to attract. And guess what? That's on you. That's not on them. You have actually created everything in your life right up until this moment. There will be something in this 60 for 60 coaching calls that is going to change your life forever if you listen to all of the calls. And you might not realize what it is the moment you hear it, because it could be the first dot of many that you connect down the track. So just stay open as you listen to this awesome training series and be present with everyone, because you have no idea what it is that you need to learn. And if anything you hear in this coaching series makes you feel uncomfortable, guys, lean into that, because breaking away from your self-limiting thoughts and your behaviors, it's basically like breaking up with your old self. And like any breakup, it can feel really uncomfortable. So lean into anything that you hear that kind of triggers you. And you know what? Your penny drop might not come from something you hear in this call series for the very first time. It might come from something you've heard over and over and over again. So if there's a training there and you think, you know what, I don't need to listen to that training because I've heard that or I've got that down pat, listen to it anyway. Because here's the thing, if the universe has bashed you a million times over the head with something, it might be time to sit up, acknowledge it, take it on and implement it into your business. So to finish up, I want to share a couple of excuses that I've personally used myself. Like I said, I was the queen of excuses as I was building my business. And these are excuses that I hear from people that I coach all of the time. So if you have these, you are not alone. But these excuses stop people in their tracks. And the really sad thing is that they just don't have to. So the first one, guys, is that I struggle with self-belief. I don't know if you can relate to that. I certainly can, because that was one of my excuses when I started this business. If you are struggling with self-belief right now, here's the thing, you can set big goals, but you're never going to outgrow your own limitations. And I speak from experience here, but the good thing is, the exciting thing is, you can change your limitations by doubling down on your PD. And just start, guys, by setting yourself small 100% achievable goals. So simple things, whatever your goal is, like cooking healthy just every night, one night at a time, to stick to the healthy living program. Maybe being on time or being on live to every training and Zoom DA. And then, you know, you'll start to collect evidence at how awesome you are at just achieving those tiny, tiny little things. If your each team has a different system, if it's reach out to 5 people a day and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're struggling, reach out to 1 person a day. Reach out to 5 a week, but do that every day or every week until you, like I said, start to collect evidence that you can achieve goals. And then start setting bigger goals. Start setting goals that scare you. And when you get to a point where you can do at least one thing every day for you and for your business that scares you, you will be growing faster and moving towards those goals that once seemed out of reach, because all of those actions, they compound, guys. Have a simple mantra to repeat to yourself when fear and doubt pop up. So mine was really simple. It was just, I am a calm, confident, and capable business owner. I'm a calm, confident, and capable business owner. The thing is, you speak to yourself more than you speak to any other person in your life. So make sure you are cheering yourself on when a negative thought pops up. Here's the thing, you're never going to stop fear and doubt creeping in. That's life. That's what we're wired for. It keeps us safe. But you know what? You can override it. Know that that negative voice is not you. It's not your belief system. It is a voice that we were wired back in the caveman days to, like I said, keep us safe, but it's not relevant anymore. You don't need confidence to override that voice. All you need, guys, is 20 seconds of courage to just dial that number, send that voice message, start talking at that DA or do that business presentation, focusing on your nerves. When you feel nervous, All that is doing is making it about you. But remember, we are here to serve others. That's what we should put above everything else. And if you can make it through the first 20 seconds of anything, you can make it to the end. It might not be pretty when you get started. I've had some ugly presentation starts. But you know what, guys? You have to be prepared to look bad for a while in order to get good. Don't confuse fear and nerves, though, with lacking self-confidence, because they're two completely different things. People think NVPs are full of confidence and have no fear. And that could not be further than the truth. Every single MVP, in fact, every single MVP that's providing a training call for this series, I can guarantee you that they still have fear knock on their door every single day. We do. But as MVPs, guys, we just choose not to invite it in for chips and dip. We choose to feel the fear and to do it anyway and to serve our teams. So finally, the most common excuse that seems to be the basis of most people's stories, BS stories, is that I just don't feel worthy. You know what, guys? No one actually does until they work on this. So it's not just you. If you've found yourself thinking that before, not worthy of the next title, not worthy of the next paycheck, not worthy of leading a team, not worthy of speaking in front of the group at a training. Louise Hay, the original self-help guru, she says the bottom line for everyone is that I'm not good enough. But you know what, friends? That's just a thought. And like any thought, that can actually be changed. Okay. A few years ago, I realized that my purpose is to help others. So first I joined the police force. I have actually just retired, thanks to Arbon, from a 20-year policing career. And then I started my Arbon business, and I didn't realize that Arbon was going to help me feel like I literally was changing the world. I thought that was just going to buy me some time on my kids a little, to be honest. But you know what? As my business started to build, and I think because I joined this business just for pocket money, just for DM money, I got stuck at area in my own unworthiness story until one day I had this epiphany. Staying stuck at area, and remember that I had multiple areas in my team ahead of me. I had 2 regional vice presidents in my team when I was in area. But staying stuck at area myself because I, Rachel Barbounis, felt unworthy, that was not going to let me help any more people. And I'd realised that that was my purpose, helping people. If you genuinely want to help others, guys, you need to know what I realised. Insecurity, it is the highest form of self-involvement. It makes it about us. We need to allow ourselves to become more so we can give more to others. But to give more, you first need to let yourself or allow yourself to receive more. In the split second that it took me to realize that, everything changed for me. We went from struggling area and we were a region 12 weeks later, a barely maintaining area, to region within a few months. And we were a nation exactly 1 year on, okay? Wayne Dyer says that no one dies from an actual snake bite. They die from the venom that's circulating through their body. And it's exactly the same as this business. No one's business fails because they had an IC who used to be their best friend quit, because they got 157 no's. Look at Sarah Dunning. Or they lost the title. There's plenty of people that have done that, or because their business or their partner was unsupportive or their friends were jerks. We've all got people in our life like that. You know what? It's the stories we tell ourselves about what happened. It's the doubt we choose to speak to ourselves and the doubt we choose to believe about what's possible or not possible for us. That's the venom. You let that circulate for too long through your system, and that's what's going to kill your business. If you can change your thoughts, you can actually change the story that you tell yourself. Change your you'll change your story, and you'll change your business. Okay. And once you change your business and it's growing, you'll not only just change your life, but you will set a ripple effect in motion that you cannot even imagine the end of right now. You have to push yourself through what would normally stop you, guys. This is so important, because where you think your limit is, it's actually far short of where your limit truly is. I quit my business as a new district manager because I chose to believe the BS stories that I was telling myself back then. And thankfully, I realized within 24 hours of quitting that Arbonne had lit my soul on fire. I could see that I was already moving towards the best version of myself. And if I stayed inside my comfort zone, which would have been the easy option because it felt really good. But you know what? I would never have become the version of myself for a whole team of people that I was yet to meet, for my husband, or for my two beautiful daughters, Ava and Demi, who have all, deserve the best version of me. I could be a retired district manager right now. Thankfully, I realised that I was worthy of everything Arbonne had to offer. Otherwise Arbonne wouldn't have offered it to me. And because I chose to push myself so far past what I thought was my breaking point, people who weren't even in my business at that point, back then, because I didn't really have a team, they've now gone on to change their lives. And when I was originally putting this training together, I asked my team, what's Arbonne done for you? And I'll share some of their answers with you, but just quickly to let you know what Arbonne's done for me. I started this business, guys, for pocket money. And up until just over a year ago, I was still working part-time as a police officer. I loved my job. I was working 2 days a week, 5 minutes from home in an office, doing something that I was really passionate about. And my daughter became unwell. And I had no plans. I was an NVP for a couple of years when my daughter became unwell, and I'd never planned on giving up policing because you can do everything when you have an Arbonne business, right? But my daughter was diagnosed with an eating disorder, and we nearly lost her. She spent 5 weeks in hospital trying to, stabilise her physically. And it's taken us, it's been nearly a year and a half. She's still not quite 100%, but she's getting there. And it took a 24/7 effort from myself to help my daughter recover. And I started Arbonne for pocket money, but 5 years into my business, when I was about to lose my daughter, I was able to stop policing. It was a no-brainer. And I didn't go back for a whole year. And after a year of not getting paid from policing, I thought, you know what, it's time for me to move on. My work there is done. I joined the police force to help people, but I had helped more people with this business opportunity in over a 5 or 6 year period than I had in an entire 20-year policing career. And Arbonne saved, it saved my family. The personal development gave me the mental strength that I needed. And when we were given a 30% chance of my daughter surviving, we walked away from there saying, well, she's in the 30%. And not only that, but we will make this worst thing that's ever happened to our family. Let's make this the best thing that's ever happened to my family. And I was able to nurse her back to health over a whole year. My team was kind of chugging along independently by that stage. And, that's priceless. That's the power of a residual income, guys. And I'm now more passionate than ever about helping other people prepare for impact, like Rita Davenport trained. And it's funny, when I was a district and I heard Rita talking about preparing for impact, I thought, oh, that's so dramatic. Impact ain't ever hit my family. And you know what, it did. And it didn't knock us for 6 because we had Arbonne. So I literally thank God for Arbonne every single day. It's the first thing that goes into my gratitude journal every single night. And you know what? Let me tell you, it was my Arbonne Soul Tribe that was dropping food in our door. That was, sidelines that weren't even, other NVPs in Arbonne Australia and New Zealand that weren't even connected to my teams, sending me messages saying, listen, I know you're going through some stuff. Can I train your team? What can I do? Guys, we need to invite as many people as we can into this soul tribe because it changes people's lives. So when I ask my team what the business has done for them, not one person mentioned the money or the paycheck, okay? Someone in my nation, well, multiple people in my nation now have travelled to Nepal and have helped young people stay in school because they've provided them with sanitary products that they didn't have, and they went as an Arbonne group. Someone in my nation learned self-love when, this always gets me really emotional, but before Arbonne, they didn't even know how to be kind to themselves. Someone in my nation realised that she was worth living, and she was able to move past the darkest time in her life because of that Arbonne Soul Tribe. Someone in my nation found the courage to leave an abusive, a physically and emotionally abusive relationship. And her children and her are now, they're not only safe, but they are thriving for the first time ever because of Arbonne. Multiple people told me that through Arbonne, they have found their life purpose, which is one of the most profound and exciting experiences you can ever have in life. And some of the people that told me that Arbonne's helped them find their purpose, they're in their 20s and they're so excited about what lies ahead for them. Imagine finding your purpose when you're 20 years old. Hello. But you know what? Some of these people were also in their 50s and 60s, and they were only just realizing their self-worth, only just starting to love themselves, and only just realizing their purpose now. And don't even get me started on Arbonne babies. I think we've all got Arbonne babies in our teams. Babies that wouldn't even be here if it weren't for the time freedom, the financial flexibility, the happy mums and happy dads, the healthy bodies that Arbonne helps us create. But humans that are here because of Arbonne. And you know what blows me away most about all of these stories is that, imagine as that struggling district manager, if I had have listened to the made up BS stories I was telling myself. Imagine if I'd listened to that voice. None of those stories that I just shared with you would actually even exist. We are all, as Arbonne consultants, doing really important work. It goes beyond the products, it goes beyond the business model. But there are so many people out there who feel stuck in their own story right now, and they're waiting for you to get off this training. They're waiting for you to show them that, one bad chapter, one big obstacle, it doesn't define your whole story. So next time you find your little story trying to take over your narrative, don't shut it down, listen to it. And then ask, what is it that I need to learn here? What is it that I need to do to overcome this self-limiting belief? And then do whatever it takes to overcome it, because you know what? I promise you guys, your team or your future, your future team and you and your family are more than worth it. So to finish up, I'll leave you with the gift that I shared at AAC. I have an incredible mentor that has helped me move through some of my self-limiting beliefs in life, and helped me move through some of my subconscious blocks. So she's given me an incredible mantra. So I will share it with you. If you want to close your eyes perhaps and repeat after me this mantra, but this is a really great way to start growing your self-belief and your self-worth. So take a deep breath, shut your eyes and repeat this after me, and then you can rewind and write it down. But shut your eyes. I give myself permission to receive money and spiritual wealth through Arbonne. I give Arbonne permission to provide me with all my dreams and desires, to live free, and to change the lives of those who seek me out. So open your eyes, and I want you to know before I finish up that you are all more than worthy. You are deserving, and you are all more than capable of achieving your biggest dreams with Arbonne. And I have no doubt that as a result of this awesome 60 for 60 training, with the direction that JD is taking our company in, with B Corporation certification coming in, with the direction of health and wellness, with the ongoing boom in social media, guys, I've got no doubt it's our 40th year that we are going to create a movement together that will be felt throughout not just Arbonne, but globally. So that's my training. I want to say thank you once again for listening to my story. Feel free to reach out to me on social media, and let's all link arms and make 2020 our best decade ever, and our 40th year a year for us to remember. Thank you very much.